This is Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN. Frank, thanks for giving me some of your time. I'm filling in for, I've been told you call him Oats and Barley.
Little Charlie, yeah.
Mr. Charlie.
Yeah, that's him, Oats and Barley.
Yeah. I'm filling in today, so like you said, no pressure. Is this as good as it gets for British fight fans? A brilliant domestic world title fight at the top of the bill with Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois. A stunning undercard. Is this as good as it gets?
It does, and it wouldn't be happening if it weren't for the Riad season, His Excellency and his team who've enabled us to make this happen. We've got probably one of the biggest cards, one of the best cards in British boxing and European world boxing. I mean, you've got two guys fighting for the IBF heavyweight championship of the world, which is between, out of the four top heavyweights, two of them who are probably the two biggest punchers, or maybe the two biggest punchers out there. So it's going to be exciting. And we all know these domestic bust-ups over the years have produced epic fights, and I believe this will be one. And the undercard is just superb. I mean, this is like boxing heaven. If you're a boxing junkie, that's the place to be on the 21st of September, is at Wembley Stadium or watching it on one of the various outlets on TV.
Yeah. With Riyadh season, obviously a lot of the focus has been for the shows in Riyadh, but for discussions you've had over the past year, past 18 months, have they always expressed the desire to come and put shows on in the UK? Because obviously a lot of their focus will be on promoting Riyadh. So,
of course, Riyadh season is a very important cultural event. It's a multi-sport, multi-entertainment event that takes place from October through to Ramadan. So it's quite a lengthy period of time, and you've got some of the best acts, sportsmen, dance companies, whatever you want to call them, orchestras from all around the world, Western world, Middle East, Far East. It's a massive cultural event, and the fact that we're doing this show in the UK as part of the Riyadh season promotion is just unbelievably brilliant. And they're doing one, by the way, in America on the 3rd of August too, in LA with Crawford on the card. That's a cracker as well. So it's a brilliant time for boxing.
Yeah, like you said, if you're a boxing junkie, this is heaven. With Daniel Dubois on the come up, I can remember countless times people saying he could be the next AJ because you're looking at a heavyweight who's big, strong, with serious dynamite behind his hands. Did you believe that the two would ever meet, Frank?
Look, why wouldn't it happen? I've had belief in Daniel from day one. He's had a couple of hiccups on the way, but he's shown he's got the heart of a champion by overcoming them and overcoming a lot of criticism, some of it coming from fellow professionals, which I thought was a bit outrageous considering the injury he sustained in one fight in particular. But he's shown what he's all about, certainly in his last two fights where he was underdog going into the fight, a lot of questions about his mindset and his heart, and he showed what he is and what he's about, that he can overcome adversity, and so outside the ring and inside the ring, and done the business in big style. I think it's two undefeated fighters. I'm not sure, was Miller undefeated going into that fight? I'm not sure. So two undefeated fighters, and certainly against Filip Hrgovic, who has been a mandatory for the IBF title for a number of years and has been an avoided fighter. He stepped up to the plate, went in there and done the business after a couple of tough rounds, early rounds, but done the business and done it in style. And he's just getting a better and better fighter. And now he's in with AJ, who's also on a roll now. He's had 4 good wins since losing his title. He's had 4 good wins. So it's got all the signs of just being one unbelievable fight. No doubt about it.
I don't know how much credit you like to give yourself, or if it will be something that when you hang up the promotional gloves, as it were, that you can look back on at your positives and negatives of the time in the sport. But you must sometimes sit there and be proud of what a job you've done for Daniel Dubois. For a 26-year-old to be headlining at Wembley Stadium, he's already fought for a world title on away shores. He's one of the biggest names in British boxing, in British sport. Do you ever sit back and give yourself credit for the job you've done for Daniel? Because a lot of people are saying he is one of the best promoted fighters in the sport.
Well, I like to think all our fighters, we look after them and promote them properly and bring them through, and that's the job we do for them. I think we're good at what we do at Queensberry, and I think we've done it in style over the years. But we've gone into a different dimension now as far as promotion and boxing is concerned. obviously with his financial clout from the Riad season and His Excellency's vision and foresight, which corresponds with how we've always wanted it to be. And as regarding Daniel, I've been a big believer in him, but also, you know, these guys have believed in Queensberry and believed in me. So it's a two-way traffic, and you know, I'm delighted what Daniel's achieved. I suppose from my ego point of view, I've always believed in him, believed that he could do this, and he's done it. He's now a world champion. What he's got to do now is hold on to it on the 21st of September in a tough fight.
Yeah, I was just speaking to Daniel's legal team, and they said it was literally 10 minutes ago that they got the final confirmation from the IBF that he is promoted to full champion. Can you kind of tell us some of the intricacies of that? I know Usyk was making out that it was kind of a gift from himself, but what was kind of the stuff behind it?
Usyk has Tyson called the rematch with Usyk, which the loser had the opportunity to do. He's done that. That's now on the 21st of December in Riad, again part of the Riad season. And that meant he wasn't able to make the mandatory defence of his IBF title, and the IBF stripped him. Rightly or wrongly, that's what they did. They're their rules, and they go by their rules. It's not. I mean, they've done it to a lot of fighters over the years when it comes to that. And obviously, Daniel did win the interim title in beating Hrgovic, who was at that time the mandatory challenger.
Yeah. How does the fight play out stylistically between the two in the ring? Because I guess there is a lot more in it to the fight than it just being a shootout. There's a few different avenues it could go, but of course when you've got two such powerful punchers, the perception and narrative is going to be these two are going to go in and they're going to throw.
I think it's the battle of the jabs.
Yeah.
You know, he showed in his last fight, AJ, that jab on about 3 or 4 occasions, the jab in the right hand that beat Ngannou, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, beating Ngannou. He showed that, and Daniel showed the same thing in the last fight against Hrgovic. After those couple of early rounds where he got clipped a couple of times, he started using his jab more, doubling it up and letting the right hand go. And that was the key to it. This fight for me is going to be about battle of the minds and the hearts. They both have good jabs, they're both big punchers. Daniel's fast, he gets you in trouble, you know you're in trouble. He's a good finisher. And it's all about, as I say, you know, who's going to, because somebody's going to get clipped. Somebody's going to win that battle of the jabs. And then has the other guy got a plan B? Can the other guy change what he's doing? And can they take the power? And there is going to be the clue and the answer to it, because both of them in fights have had to dig deep, and both of them, when they've got in trouble in fights, Daniel with a serious injury to his eye against Joe Joyce, both of them have shown that they can be vulnerable.
I love it. It's such a good fight. Such a good fight. Just a quick bit before the press conference begins on the rematch, penciled in for December the 21st, but there have been a lot of doubters as to whether Tyson will not win the rematch, even make the rematch in the boxing scene. Just your comments and response to those.
Johnny Nelson, and it's the usual haters who say all the same old bullshit. Why wouldn't he do it? He called it on. He's getting paid a fortune for it. Irrespective of that, he wants it. He wants to get back in there and show what he's all about. And he's in training, you know, light training at the moment. And I spoke to him last week, and it's all he talks about. He can't wait for the fight, and that's where we are.
There seems to be a lot of fuss made.
People who said he'd pull out of the last fight. It's the same continual voices, and I don't know what it is with them, but and who cares at the end of the day? He'll be there, don't you worry.
Has there been too much fuss made of things that we've seen on the internet regarding Tyson?
In what way?
There was the video of him outside of the pub and outside of the bar. Has there just been a lot too much fuss made about?
He went out and had a drink. He went out and had a blowout. I'd done a little press thing a couple of weeks prior to that in a restaurant where I had a couple of glasses of wine. You know, he's been in training camp for what, since last December, with a 2 weeks out with a cut eye. So what do you expect him to do? You know, he's gone out and had a cut. And the one thing about it, if you read his wife's book, you read Paris's book and Tyson's, he says he can't hold his drink. He has 3 or 4 drinks, he's pissed. Yeah. And that's it. And do you know what? He's a bloke. He went out and had a drink. Good luck to him. I noticed there's a few footballers the same week who after the season went out and had a drink and looked like they were walking on dodgy legs.
But regardless, he wins the rematch for you.
I believe he should have won the first fight. I think he could have won it. Anyway, what happened happened. You can't change the result. The only way you can do that is to get back in the ring. That fight has taken a lot out of both of them, and I do genuinely believe he can win the rematch.